This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. I like how you're laughing too.
Well, it's funny.
Legend of War 33 tipped me $1. And he says, Phil, I've been a fan since 2008 when you played Wanted on the PS3. Quick question, I'm studying for my driver's permit test. Can you give me tips on how to pass on my first try? How did you pass? I'll be honest with you, Legend of War, that was a hell of a long time ago. I do not remember.
I'll be honest, the older I get, the dumber I'm probably getting.
I honestly do not remember. I don't even remember getting my driver's permit. At all. I have, like, no recollection of getting a driver's permit or how that worked. What I'll tell you is I didn't really get a lot of practice. My parents were very busy during that time period, and basically it was kind of like, me kind of learning everything on the fly by myself. I actually remember my driving test, I lucked out. And the reason I say that is, my driving test, it was pouring rain, and I actually went to driving school in a mall driving school. You might say, what? Yeah, back then in the 90s, it was this fad. It was actually like a fad where a driving school would open up in your local mall, and it would look like, instead of a store, you walk inside their desks, and there's a classroom. It was very odd. It was there for like 2-3 years, then it went out of business. I think it was called Top Driver or something like that. And I went to this driving school, and I remember the day of my driving test, I was super nervous because I hadn't had a lot of road practice time, but we go out, and it's pouring rain, like horrendous downpour. And the guy's like, listen, you basically, there's nothing we can do about this. This is the time allotted, and you paid for it. We got to do your driving test, but I'm not going to have you do a bunch of crazy stuff because it's pouring rain. Just do basics. Pull into this parking spot, back out, back into the parking spot, pull out, go drive around for once or twice. He didn't even have me parallel park, which is what I was terrified of, parallel parking. He didn't even have me do it. So basically, I took like half a driving test and passed, which is hilarious. But that's all I really remember about my driving school experience. I don't really remember anything about the permit or anything, so I wish I could help you, Legend of War, but I really don't remember that much anymore. Okay? Thank you for the tip, though.
Really?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You say, would I go back in time and change everything like a butterfly effect? No, because the thing is, I am where I am today because I went through what I went through for the last 10 years, right? Because I went through all of those experiences, I am the person I am today, and I feel that I am a better person and a better content creator today.
What? This shocks me.
By far than I was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I feel like I've been getting better and better. And it's actually funny because
even though there's these people who staunchly hate me and want me to fail, even they have started to come out recently and admit that I'm a lot better than I used to be. What? 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 That's 100% a lie. And is 100% wrong. And that there's a lot of other people out there that are a lot worse than me. Now, it doesn't mean that they stopped trying to fuck with me, but they've almost, collectively admitted that things are better now. And I want that to continue. I want it to be that people who maybe don't like me give me a chance and will come and watch the stuff and say, oh shit, Phil, this is a lot better than it used to be. It's actually not what people say it is anymore. These negative people, it's actually a lot better kind of a content, okay?
So we've got 2 questions from Infinite55. Let's jump on the first one. He says, over the past couple of years, I noticed that your viewers seem to be placed into 2 categories. Either you're an obsequious, sycophantic fan, or you're a cantankerous, nefarious detractor. Why do you think we are placed into these categories? Would you ever encourage a dialogue between fans and the more innocuous and sensible of your antagonists? I only ask because in my experience, only polarization, disagreement, and deliberation can cause progress. Here's the thing. I hate to say it, immature people see the world in black and white, right? So if you're immature and you don't have a lot of experience and you're not very wise, what you see is two things. Wow, it's either the crazy fanboys of Phil or the insane haters of Phil. They don't realize that not everyone has to be placed into those categories. There's people who watch me casually, who maybe if I'm playing a particular style of game they'll watch. They don't necessarily love me as the best person on planet Earth, but they do acknowledge that watching my content can be entertaining, and they'll watch me play certain kinds of stuff. They don't want to become part of this battle between the supporters and the haters. They just want to come and watch and have fun. And I'll tell you this, I really do believe that my newer attitude, where I'm not addressing the negative drama all the time.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
I'm trying to make the streams more chill and relaxed and just fun no matter what game I'm playing, and I don't really care about attendance as long as we just get people excited and engaged and participating in the streams. It doesn't matter what I'm playing or who's involved, right? It's funny because I could be playing Dark Souls and you have 800 trolls on the stream talking shit, or I could be playing Dragon Quest, where you've only got 200 people who actually really love the content I'm putting out. Both of those streams can be equally entertaining to the viewer as long as I stay with the same kind of positive attitude. You see what I mean? But the bottom line is people who see the world black and white are just immature. They don't realize that the world is not black and white. There's many shades of gray, right? Many shades of uncertainties about what's right and what's wrong. And it doesn't mean that just because you've watched This Is How You Don't Play video about me that you're a horrible person and I hate you and you're a detractor. And it also doesn't mean that just because you tipped me $5 on a stream that now you're an insane fanboy who will, kiss my ass no matter what. But that's what immature and just uneducated people will say. And sadly, I hate to say that, that's a lot of the viewer base on YouTube today. Why do you think YouTube is mostly drama videos and this kind of shit that's black and white, horrible or great, right? That's not how the world is. But people love to do that because it makes it simple, rather than believe that there's actually nuance. And let's face it, guys, if really I was as hated as everyone says, I wouldn't be here. 10 years later, being able to make a living doing what I do, I wouldn't be here being able to make a living doing what I do if I were as hated as I was, right? At the same time, if I really were as loved as people think, then I wouldn't be in financial situations that I'm in and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's both ends of the spectrum are wrong. I really don't feel that being the most hardcore White Knight fanboy, but also being the most black-hearted, evil, malicious, wishing detractor, I don't think either makes any sense. I think that we all just have to kind of have our own stuff going on, our own lives, and if you can make it to my streams and have fun watching my content, great. And if you can't make it every day, that's cool. That's kind of the attitude, more laid-back attitude that I want to have. I never understood the mentality of someone who's like, I have to watch everything Phil does. I mean, people used to complain, I put out too much content, and there's no way to watch all of it. Okay, then don't watch all of it. Just watch what you want to watch. The whole point is I'm putting out so much content and such a variety of content, right? That you can watch casually whenever you have a chance and watch what interests you. But there are some people that become, I'm the hardcore White Knight fanboy. I must watch every piece of content Phil puts out. That's not, in my opinion, that's not even a healthy attitude to have. I put out so much content, how could you even watch it all, right?
Talk about, brainwashing mentality. I just don't know what else to say. These cult mentality people.
At the same time, I hate everything Phil does no matter what, even if some of it actually is kind of good. I hate it anyway because I hate Phil. That's crazy attitude too. You see what I mean? Like, you've got to find that balance. And that's the thing, Infinite, is that I think that basically people who want to oversimplify stuff to make life simple. Life isn't simple. Life is very complex, and there's multi-layers and facets to everything in life, and it's not white and black.
I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life.
Good and bad, you know what I mean? It's everyone's kind of a shade of gray. That's why I don't mind if there's people who come by and kind of tease me and do kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But anyway, that's your answer. So as to your second question, well, the second part of your question, should people engage the haters? All right. What I'll say is this: I've never ever in my life said I'm going to judge you for what you do outside of watching my content.
I know you're lying. Viking getting destroyed.
I can't stop someone from going and engaging with these people who supposedly hate me, okay? And the bottom line is I think a lot of people can have intelligent conversations with those people and find out reasons why they concretely hate me, whether they're actual legitimate or misguided, whatever they may be. But you gotta be careful because sadly there's people who are actual, moral, good people who just don't like me, and then you've got the nut jobs. And the nut jobs will just fucking go after you no matter what, and if you get into their world, you'll never get out. They will find you and permeate shit. They'll find out where you work and call and harass your fucking job. They'll attack your social media. They'll find out your personal accounts and hack your fucking emails and shit. And that's what you've got to be careful. If you're going to engage someone who actively is engaged in a negative, dramatic community, like this is what they do, this is what they're known for, You got to be very careful about your own personal stuff, because the last thing you want to be doing is opening Pandora's box, and now your whole life is shit just because you decided to put your foot in the door of somewhere to see if you could maybe, can I get some reason in here and actually have an intelligent conversation? And then, oh my god, my whole life's ruined because these assholes attack the shit out of me, okay? So just being safe with everything you guys do. All right, please be careful. I certainly am not condoning nor condemning anything that you guys do. I have no right to do that. All right, but I'm just telling you, be careful and be safe, because some of these people, once they latch on, they won't let go, and if they don't like you, they will come after you like pit bulls. Okay, and not the singer. I'm talking about the dog that latches on and rips your leg off. Okay, although I don't know if the singer's any better. Okay.
Wow, Phil, you really have a bad rep because of these nasty things you've done on the internet.
Second question from Infinite. He says, I wanted to inquire about the criteria and process that you use when you decide whether someone is trustworthy and deserving of being a moderator. Is it something that requires a considerable amount of research, background checking, and reconnaissance, or is it process more analogous to a leap of faith that requires a great deal of intuition? I certainly don't want to reveal everything that I do when I make someone moderator, because obviously then someone might try to game the system. But what I'll say is now I am a little bit more careful with what I do, because we did have one or two people in the past who basically pretended to be really nice stream chatters. I mean, we had someone who for 8 months pretended to be someone of an opposite gender, actually had friendships with people in the chat via private message or whatever, where personal information was supposedly revealed, just to find out it was a guy impersonating a girl to get in everyone's good graces, become a moderator, and we're planning an actual overthrow of my chat and trying to get me in trouble and banned from Twitch. I mean, it was sick. 8 months, you pretended to be someone you weren't, just to come in and say, I'm gonna get Phil banned from Twitch and fuck people over. It was pretty gross catfishing, okay? Thank God that's in the past, and we haven't had a situation like that in quite some time. Criteria for someone being a moderator: number one, you got to be someone who's around a lot and watches the streams. Obviously, you're gonna have to be here to moderate the stream, so obviously you need to be that's a qualifying criteria, right? Number two, someone who I recognize and I have positive interactions with, and basically someone who's gonna be able to attend streams on a regular basis. And what I'll do is, people who are interested will usually email me, and I'll talk back and forth with them a little bit about why they want to be a mod, or information about when they're available and stuff like that. And then what we do is we make them a mod temporarily, and they're on a trial mod basis to see how they do. We have a few people like that right now who've been trial mods for about roughly a few weeks to a month, and so I think they've been doing a pretty good job, although I'll admit, there have been a couple streams I'm like, where are all the mods? Like, what happened? I just moderated like 3-4 new people, and there's no one here tonight on the stream, and it kind of is disheartening when that happens. But the thing is, they're all volunteers. They're also people that I can't concretely put my foot down and say, how dare you not be there or whatever, because they're doing it for free. If they're doing it out of the kindness of their own heart, and I appreciate when the mods are here and actually putting in hard work, especially a stream like a new release or a Dark Souls kind of a deal where you're going to get a very big negative troll element coming in, and you need someone to moderate for you, right? So basically, it's a mix of many different criteria. I'm not going to give you all. Let me put it this way. I do have the ability to go back and see pretty much everything everyone said in the stream chat ever. It's been logged for quite a while. So, someone who was in here trolling 3 months ago, and then they come in and say, oh, I want to be a mod, I could find out what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Give me your money. Fuck ton of money.
But, in general, that's the general criteria I use, okay? During the tournament, this person walks up to me. Now, keep in mind, I'm in the middle of running a tournament. I'm calling people to stations. I'm watching various matches to make sure there's no shenanigans. I'm doing brackets. I'm working my ass off running a tournament. Someone comes up to me and goes, I'm Black Hawk Down. And I was like, huh? He's like, me, Phil, I'm Black Hawk Down. I'm Black Hawk Down. And I said, okay, great, nice to meet you. And I just kind of turned and kept working. Then it dawned on me, I'm not even kidding, a week later, Black Hawk Down was that guy in the infamous Street Fighter 4 video, the Ken Dragon Punch spammer, who he had set the time limit of the game to 30 seconds. And to cheat, basically, in a ranked match, you're not supposed to do that. Ranked match is supposed to be the full time limit of 99 seconds or whatever. And he had just spammed Dragon Punch in a laggy match when I was Rufus and he was Ken. He was just spamming Dragon Punches, and the match was so laggy, his connection was so bad, I couldn't even hit him, once. So he beat me in a ranked match by just doing repeated Dragon Punches because the connection was so bad. Now, this video, I uploaded it to the internet because I thought it was hilarious that this is the level of what people were doing in this game at ranked matches to win. I purposely laggy connection, spamming a move with quick recovery and putting it to 30 seconds to get a time over win, okay? So I had put this on the internet myself. The video went viral, and of course that became an infamous video with my detractors, how Phil sucks at Street Fighter 4, when in reality all it showed is that the game sucked at launch, and later on they patched it so you couldn't do that stupid shit in a ranked match. You couldn't change the time limit in a ranked match anymore. So apparently, if this was legit, this guy was a guy who literally was an asshole to me in a ranked match of Street Fighter 4, and the video went viral, so he was looking for attention, so he had come up at a tournament to try to get my attention and see how I would react, and I had no recollection of who the fuck the guy was, nor did I give a fuck.
I'm 36 years old now. I just had my birthday. My brain's not what it used to be, guys. My Alzheimer's is kicking in. I gotta go take my Metamucil later so I can, I can make a bowel movement. So, I'm getting old here. I can't remember things as well. So I apologize that I had a brain fart there.
So I just completely went whoop right over my head. And then I realized like a week later, I was like, did that guy say he was Black Hawk Down? What's that? And I was like, oh yeah, there's a video. Oh my God, it was that guy actually trying to get attention. That was really like the only time ever, seriously ever, that anyone came up to me who had been like an asshole to me and tried to like get any kind of recognition. The only one negative experience that I can tell you guys that I had at a convention, and honestly, I don't even know if I ever revealed this either. This is years and years and years later, so I can talk about it now. 6 years later, I can finally reveal something that happened bad to me at a convention. At MagFest, the 1 year that I went to MagFest, after a day had ended, and there was a bunch of, fans who, myself and John and OJ had all been hanging out with these fans all day. Myself and John and OJ and Howard and Respect the Pact and the fans, like probably like 5 to 10 fans, we all went and went to go have dinner together. We went to this like pub down the street, and we all got food together. And some of us had beer and stuff, and it was whatever. And basically, I said, just put it under my name, because I was the one who was the reason everyone was there. Obviously, I was, I said, just put it under my name. I'll pay the bill, but everyone throw in, throw in for what you owe. I'm not saying that you have to go crazy here with tip or whatever. I'll pay the tip, but just throw in for what you bought. Well, everyone supposedly throws in, and the bill, I'm not even kidding you, was like $100 to $200 short. Now I'm like, now wait a minute here. There's a table of like 25 people that we all ate, and everyone claims they threw money in. There's no way to tell now in this pile of money whose money was what. So that means not one, not two, probably like 3 or 4 people skimped out on the bill and did not pay. Okay, and they basically were trying to take advantage of me. They're, oh, Phil's the big YouTuber. We're just going to jump in and say we're going to pay and have dinner, and we're going to fucking get a free meal out of his ass, right? That pissed me off.
Because that's basically trying to take advantage of someone, and that's not right.
And I'll be honest, it really irked me the wrong fucking way. And that night, I kind of went back to my hotel room really heated and fucking angry. And of all people, it was actually the Arid Lord who came to my hotel room that night and was like, dude, I want to give you some money because I feel bad that those people skimped out. I was like, dude, I know you paid. You know what I mean? Like, I know you paid. You're like one of my biggest fans and, supporters. I know you. It's not you. I don't want your money.
Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar. And lying to everyone, but people are believing it because they don't know any better.
I'm just angry that there's still people, even people, you came to a convention, you hung out with me all day, you got free autographs and everything, I didn't charge you a dime for anything, we go to dinner, you can't even pay for your dinner, you can take advantage, like, that's fucked up, and that really pissed me off. But outside of that, that's really, like, the only time that I can even think of, like, ever, that a negative thing happened at a convention. Outside of that, everything was very positive, okay? But what you gotta realize is that was a long time ago. That was, like I said, that was, the 2000 to 2013 era when I was very popular on YouTube and seen in a positive light. There's so much negative shit out there about me now. Chances are if I were to go to a convention, probably people would be a dick to me, And so I'm not going to bother with that shit. I'm not. I'd rather just keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, keep my private life and my public life separate and not have to deal with that kind of nonsense. All right, I told you that was a very important and serious question, guys, so I had to elaborate on it for quite some time. All right, the next question is from Jack Cooper the Plumber, and he asks the following. Hey Phil, I have a question that is slightly related to an answer that you gave on your previous Ask the King. In that video, you said lots of people do things that they regret in the future. Based on that, have you heard of Marvel firing James Gunn for some tasteless comments he made on Twitter 7 years ago? If so, do you agree with their decision? I recommend that you look it up if you haven't. It's been everywhere on the internet. Let me say it this way, okay? I don't know the full situation. I never followed James Gunn on Twitter. I don't know what kind of a guy he is in real life personally. I know nothing about the guy. So all I can comment on this situation is based on what I know from public knowledge, okay? Public knowledge is apparently 7 years ago, James Gunn was a
real asshole on Twitter. He said some really nasty, insulting kind of jokes, and it seems like he did it on purpose. Like he was trying to get attention for himself by purposely saying these like shock jokes that would get attention. That's like me, right? That's like me.
And now, he's a well-renowned director, he's made the Guardians of the Galaxy film series, and now it's come back to bite him because people are digging up these old tweets and saying, look at this shit that you used to say, why is this guy a prominent director when he said all this vile stuff back then? Why is this allowed to fly? Keep in mind, this is the SJW era. 7 years ago was kind of like the very beginning of that era, but it didn't really become prominent until like 3-4 years ago, and now everyone has to microanalyze everything everyone does. quite frankly, I can empathize with James Gunn.
Sorry for fucking what? You think I'm the villain? Go fuck yourself.
In regards to the fact that when I started back 10 years ago on YouTube, it was the wild west of YouTube. And what I mean by that is you could say or do whatever you wanted. There really was no criteria of what was allowed and what wasn't. What was considered a joke back then that could fly and everyone loved. Today, a lot of those things people would say, oh my God, I can't believe that you would say or do something like that. Okay? It's just a very different situation. The modern era versus how it used to be on YouTube. All right? Just being honest. It's a very different situation. And I know people to this day go back and try to not sugarcoat. What's the word? Not sugarcoat. Cherry pick. That's the word I was looking for. Cherry pick certain things that I said and did in videos back then, and then say, here's why Phil is a horrible person. And that's a reference from 2009. Like, wait, what? It's 2018, dude. Like, it's 9 years later, and if you watch Phil's content anytime in the last, 2 years, yeah, he has moments of weakness, but in general, he doesn't do that really divisive shit. Do I make crude and abundant sexual comments anymore in my videos? No. Watch anything that I've done recently, and, a lot of people, it's funny, because you people in the stream chat, a lot of people are still very immature and will bring up that stuff, and I refuse to play with that shit, I don't. In this day and era, I don't need to take those kind of lowbrow, cheap shot jokes anymore. I just don't. I'd rather do more observational, entertaining stuff, rather than be the guy to go the low road, you know what I mean? I just don't do that anymore.
That doesn't mean you delete the past.
I won't, in general, I won't really bring up stuff that's like racial humor or that kind of stuff anymore, or even, sexist kind of humor. In general, I try to be a lot more PC because the whole viewing audience has changed. It's a different era now, it's a different generation of people watching content on the internet, and you have to adjust to what's popular. And right now, that's what you gotta be, And let's face it, I did used to kind of go for the lowbrow stuff all the time, and I honestly think that's why I kind of started getting viral popularity on YouTube, because you had kids who liked that kind of schoolyard kind of comedy, and it gave me a viral following at the beginning of my time on YouTube. But you could easily now go back to those old stings and cherry pick the moments and say, oh, look, this is what Phil was, and this is who he is as a person, and the answer is that's not. That was a different time, and no, I wouldn't make those kind of jokes and things anymore. I have significantly, positively changed for the better, in the last 10 years that I've been a content creator, okay? So if that is the situation, and you're actually looking at James Gunn from an objective perspective, and you're saying, yeah, he used to be a different person 7-8 years ago, and he's changed for the better, and he's a much better person now, I think that he's been mistreated, and yeah, it's horrible. It's funny, because there's people like Dave Bautista, of all people, former pro wrestler, and now, an actor who does acting for a lot of movies, not only the Guardians of the Galaxy movies where he plays, Dax, right? No, Drax the Destroyer, but also he's been very popular in other movies too. He's had many prominent roles over the past 5 years. Has stood up for James Gunn to the point where he said, I'm out. If James Gunn is now brought back to this project and we don't use his script, I think I'm quitting. Like, I don't even care if I'm contractually obligated. I don't want to be a part of a studio that fires a guy based on something he did in the past when he's positively changed his life and he's been nothing but a great guy to everyone involved with these movies. Fuck that. That's unfair and that's unjust. But yeah, that's not fair in my opinion. Now, of course, in every situation like this, there's two sides to the story. So, for example, when this person posted this question up on my forum, someone responded to them and said, yeah, but the real reason that people don't like James Gunn is because he's a hypocrite. If you actually watch over the years, he's called out other people on Twitter for shit they did years ago, right? He is actually one of the worst offenders of calling people out for something they said 5 to 10 years ago and trying to act like they're an asshole in the modern day for something they did in the past. Now it happened to him and all of a sudden he's the victim. It's a hypocrite, see? So, I don't know. I don't know James Gunn well enough to comment and have an intelligent opinion, but what I will say is this, as someone who...
I personally suffer from this, from people pulling shit up from my past that back in the day wasn't seen as offensive. That guy is such a two-faced fat piece of shit. He pisses me off. Like, I seriously hate people like that are so fucking dishonest and two-faced and will do anything to make a fucking nickel. He's disgusting.
Or On the Fly was a joke that was kind of a generalization joke and now wouldn't be politically correct anymore, and I don't make those jokes anymore. Is it fair to now pull that out of my past and say, because this is what people say, Phil's a racist. See, here's this video from 2010. What? Phil is a crude sexual guy and he's horrible content. Look, here's a joke that he made about a woman back in 2009. Huh? 9 years ago? I mean, come on. And again, I'm not saying that I'm perfect in the modern era. Every once in a while I make mistakes, but certainly if you watch the content today, I'm not the person I was way back then. I've definitely changed.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
And made active improvements to myself to not do that kind of stuff anymore. So it is what it is, but I think personally it's not fair. That's my personal opinion, all right? He says, Phil, after 10 years of you playing games for YouTube, Blip, and Twitch, do you ever get tired of playing video games? Did you ever feel sick of sitting down and playing games for 5+ hours? Thanks for the content.
I'm tired of the shit, you know? Oh my God. Like, I'm just so tired of this stupid shit. Man, this job sucks. It's a grind. I just do it for the money. I hate the fucking game. I fucking hate the game. You know what I mean? I absolutely fucking hate the game. If you look at the history, there's a lot of games I quit in a short amount of time, right? Have I ever gotten really tired of playing games? The answer is no. I'm good at lying.
I'll say this. There were a few years there early on in my career, I'd probably say around 2012, when I felt a little bit burnout because I was under pressure to constantly be playing new games. Back then, it wasn't like I would go back and play retro games. I would play every new release. And so sometimes I would play a new release that I just wasn't liking, but it was the only new release for the week, and I had to put out video content every day to make money.
When I play a retro game, the first couple videos get attention. After that, people are like, man, it's an old game I already saw or I already played, and then they go away.
So I was like, man, I just got to keep pushing ahead. And sometimes people would even say, this game kind of sucks. We don't want to watch you play it. And I'd be like, well, I'm still pushing ahead playing it anyway. I wish you guys would just watch whatever. That was the wrong attitude to have. What I should have done is I should have been a lot more interactive with my viewing audience and saying, okay, if you guys really don't like me playing every new release, what would you like to see? Would you like to see special events? Would you like to see me go back and do retro stuff? What kind of stuff could we do to add variety to my content rather than it just being, oh, Phil just plays every new release and then people get tired of my content and I get burnt out, right? So, that being said, that was at one point.
I really don't. I don't get burnt out sitting here and playing games. I actually have a lot of fun with it. That's kind of how I am. Like, I will feel burnout if I'm doing the same exact kind of thing all the time.
Next question is actually a double question. It's a double question from Fallen FGFM 1570. And he asks the following. First, he says, how's your back doing? I noticed there hasn't been an issue with it. That is correct. Like, my back, for the most part, is good.
I used to have a really bad back injury. It was a severely herniated disc in my lower back to the point where I had numbness and pain and all kinds of stuff. I could barely move around for a year there. During my time when I was on YouTube doing stuff, I could barely even move because I was so messed up. And so when I moved out here to Seattle, I don't know what it was. It could have been my lifestyle changes. It could have just been going to a new area. I don't know, but I said, man, I don't know. The air out here is clean or whatever. I don't know what it is, but my back's better. Oh, the Seattle air healed his back.
And my back has healed. I think what happened was the herniation of the disc went away, and the muscles around the spine in that area of my back strengthened, and I'm good now. So I have not had a single issue with my back in probably over a year. Every once in a while, sure, I'll go out and I spend a whole day out and I come back and my back is like tight and hurts a little bit. But within a few hours, it's better again. So I think I'm good. I think my back injury is good, which is amazing because a lot of people have those debilitating back injuries and they never get better. Mine actually did, which is pretty damn positive and crazy. So,
what pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.